What it do, Mr. Katz?
What it do, what it do, what it do,
What it do?
what it do.
We're back. How are you?
I'm living the dream, man. You know, I learned the other day that I am a manifest generator.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that is my type, I guess, according to my wife. Now, I don't know if that's astrology or what, but according to some profile that she does, I am a manifest generator. And I will tell you that right now, I am manifesting the fuck out of many things. And it feels so good.
Right into it. I mean, I don't know if you're a wizard, but I know you work your ass off. So that seems to work too.
Yeah, no, for sure. No, it's really refreshing when all your, the beginning of this is like, if you're just planting seeds, you just got the everywhere, right? Like you just have all these disparate things, but if you're holding the vision of where you're trying to go and you cultivate these seeds, eventually they grow and they start to connect like vines. And then eventually you have this like single organism, right? But in the beginning, it's like the seeds are scattered all over the place and it's very disorienting. Right? Like when you have all these different things and you're shifting attention left, right, and like they're not yet working together. They're not yet communicating, right? And all these seeds are just strategic components, right, to a broader vision. And when those things start to coalesce and come together, like, man, it is like if I do humbly say, it is like a symphony, right? It's just a beautiful music. Right. And I think anyone who's founded or led strategy from startup to scale that has done this probably can appreciate what I'm trying to say right now. Right. I mean, I'm joking and I'm being a little bit arrogant, but the reality is I am very grateful, and it's important to not forget the things that got us here. Like, and when I say here, like where, like, okay, like something good is happening, but there's years and years of work to do, and we need to keep being disciplined, keep being humble, keep showing up, keep believing in the vision, right? Like keep being a good person. And then the sum of those parts will continue to manifest.
Brother, let's normalize not downplaying the good times, because the thing is that's the sweetest nectar, man. That's what hooks founders is, you hit your head against the wall so many times looking for a hole. And then a hole emerges and you try and plug it and it doesn't work. And then another hole emerges, you plug it, doesn't work. Then a hole emerges and you plug it and people like it and it starts taking off. It is the most sensual and addictive of feelings, So congrats, dude. Even when you just taste it a little bit, it's enough juice oftentimes to get you through all that.
Oh man, it's been amazing. And it's interesting because I'm finding a little bit more space in the day. I hit up the sauna and the cold plunge over at the gym today, midday, just jumped over there. And it's all part and parcel for balance, right? Like balance across the seeds, right, of the strategic ecosystem that we are cultivating. It's balance in life, it's balance in family, right? It's harmony. And we have, I think people like you and I too, I will say, have a bit of a strategic advantage. And I'd throw this out there for anyone that's younger as a good lesson, which is, I said some things earlier, be disciplined, show up every day, be a good person, right? Give it your best. Those are things you can do as a young entrepreneur, right? In your 20s, early 20s, mid 20s, right? Your early 30s. You don't have to have experience, right? But you will cultivate relationships along the way. I would not at all be in the situation I'm in right now, talking about some of the things you and I have talked about, some potential strategic partnerships that are very exciting, if I wasn't doing those things 10 years ago. Because directly the relationships from 10 years ago, I'm literally calling up those exact same people. And it's like, hey, like we're trying to do something similar in the space too. Like, what do you got going on? Like, let's get together. Let's have breakfast, right? Like meet my COO, right? So, and then one thing leads to another, a spark flies.
It's the kindling,
and a spark to the kindling and off to the races. So be a good person, be disciplined, work hard, right? Show up and fucking learn, man. Just learn, be humble, learn, and don't try to prove yourself, right? Just meet you where you are, right? Like, don't try to prove yourself, and surround yourself with people that are similar to these values, and the sum of those parts will pay off.
Yeah. Let's speak to that too. Experience. Anecdotally, the most popular interviews I have on this podcast are with older guys. I think there's a absolute hunger for that kind of experience. And I spoke to this wonderful guy, Jeremy from Cornish Lithium. I got to learn all about like the lithium trade as it exists in the UK. I mean, very random, but this guy, he's probably late 60s, still at the helm, still swinging, and just had so many gems. And one thing that he was talking about is he said, be interested and be interesting. And I was like, man, that really is it. I mean, being a good person and doing the right things is a big part of that. But it's also like, how do you express? And I share it with my kids. It's like, when you're building relationships, if you're interested in that person, like there should be a genuine curiosity that will carry that conversation, and it kind of evolves into this kind of lifelong relationship that can bear fruit for many, many years. And then on the other side of it, be interesting. It's also a challenge. It's like, it's not going to be enough that like you're just grinding away, working all the time. You got to do stuff to stimulate yourself and to be interesting to somebody else so they have an opportunity to be interested in you.
Yeah, for sure. And I think to the point of that and experience also, and to be interesting and stay interesting. And this is probably like, there's a little bit of a conflict here, right? Because I did spend so much of my career trying to prove myself, right? Ultimately to myself, of course, right? As is the case with anyone who's deeply insecure, but along the way, I'm trying to prove myself to my employers, right? People that like I put on a pedestal, right? People that I work for or whatever. And in doing so, I put my hand up. I raised my hand a lot to take on things that I wasn't necessarily at the time qualified to do. Right now, I always believed in my ability to figure things out to like a point of like ridiculous, almost like arrogance. Right? It's like, who is this guy to go into this role? He has no, I was that guy that like I've been put in roles that I had like no business being in. Right, but I always had this ability to figure things out and forge the answer and like and learn how to do the job. And that has served me extremely well, right? Because I've just been in PhD education mode for 15 years, right? Like everything, I go year after year. I've never not learned something new. Now it's been hard and stressful, you know what I mean? Like, because I like probably took on too much. I mean, not probably, I definitely did. But I guess what I'm trying to say is like earlier I said, hey, don't try to impress anyone. You know what I mean? But at the same time, like my desire to like prove myself and impress others by always jumping in and saying, I'll do it, kind of like put me in this pressure cooker where I had no choice but to shine. I have a buddy, Dominic, who says pressure builds diamonds, you know? And like for 20 years, like I've just been this kind of person that's like, I'm the kid that like would never leave his parents' house, but the second you like throw me out on the streets, all of a sudden I like spin up a business and like, right, I'm hustling and like I'm making it happen, right? So like, I mean, that's not the best anecdote for me because I left my parents' house at 18 and never came back. But like, you get what I'm saying, right? Like, put me in a situation that's do or die.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and I will break out of that every time. Right. I'm batting 1,000 on that one. And I will learn along the way. And that pressure has caused me to learn and learn and learn. So I think there's a healthier way to do this than I did it. Right. Like, I think there's a healthier way to not like have so much pressure on yourself. Right. Because my whole thing was just all this pressure on myself. There's a healthy way to do it. But the moral of the story of that, I guess the moral of the story there is don't ever fucking get comfortable.
All right, fitness peeps, let's talk about protein, because this one drives me absolutely nuts. Everybody knows they need it, and almost nobody can actually hit their number. I'm trying to get 180 grams a day. Do the math. That's like chicken at every single meal, plus more meals. And if you ever tried to close the gap with plant-based options, you know the usual trade-off. Lower quality ingredients, no real certification, and questions about what else is in the tub. That's why I use Momentous Plant Protein. It's a plant-based nutrition without compromise. NSF certified, third-party tested for purity, and built with the same standards Momentous applies to everything they make. It's the stuff that high performers like Rich Rowland and Dr. Stacy Sims actually use. And here's the smart way to buy it. Just subscribe. Click the link in the show notes, and my code stacks on top of the standard 25% subscription disco, so you get a full 35% off your first order. Then 10% off every order after that. It shows up at your front door, you never run out, and you never pay full price. And if you prefer to try it once first, the link still gets you 14% off a one-time purchase. The link is in the show notes, so if you're working on protein like me, set it and forget it. I love Momentous, I eat it every day. All right, let me describe my closet to you. Black t-shirts, gray t-shirts, flannel shirts, and hoodies. That's it. That's my whole collection. For years, my personal style has been the guy who might go fishing later, but probably won't. And look, the uniform is comfortable, but somewhere along the way, I realized that dressing like a Colorado stereotype was not doing me any favors. Enter Tailor. It's a menswear rental subscription that combines AI with the real professional human stylist to send you complete outfits picked just for you. Your size, your lifestyle, even your calendar and the weather. You wear the clothes, you look sharp. And when you're done, you ship them back with the prepaid label. Tailor handles the laundry, the dry cleaning, all of that. No shopping, no outfit planning, no defaulting to hoodie number 4. And if you fall in love with the piece, you can buy it at a discount and keep it forever. With access to over 150 premium brands, even a black t-shirt guy like me found things worth keeping. Go to tailor.style and use code Ryan30 for $30 off your first shipment on any plan. That's TAELOR.style, code Ryan30. Dress better, live better.
Don't ever get comfortable. You know, I
Well,
have
I'll
a
tell
buddy.
you what,
Good.
I find myself kind of addicted to that, and it's a cycle of like putting myself in a do or die situation. Like ultimately, because the outcomes, at least for me, it's just like, man, there is a high when you're like in that do or die situation. Boy, your focus is more attuned. You know, it is almost maybe we're biologically wired for that because
Oh, bro, yeah, it's called kids. We are biologically wired for it because when the kid shows up, it's do or die.
100%. Or it's like you don't eat breakfast the morning before the first day of the hunt. Like if you're hunting on a full belly, like you're not going to be really dialed in. You got to feel hungry, you know, and then your senses awake to that. So, you know, I wonder about that sometimes. That it's like, man, I kind of put myself in these situations time and time again where it's like, I got to do this. But I also, I love it, you know, and there's kind of the analogy of like Christ, to take it really big, which is like the most meaningful life is equivalent to the size of the cross that you're carrying up the mountain to be crucified on.
100% agree with that.
You know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the whole obstacle is the way thing is critical, right? And that's, you know, we're saying the similar things in different terms, right? Like don't ever get comfortable. And I do think that the way you could, in a more healthy way, without putting all that crazy pressure that I went through, is to philosophically evaluate situations through the lens of the obstacle is the way, and to make conscientious decisions to do things that are uncomfortable, right? Especially professionally, obviously, you know, personally, physically, all, you know, this is just a life philosophy in general, but we're talking about building a business, right? Like, how much you take on of what's uncomfortable, I think that's kind of where, you know, I probably have historically gone wrong, right? But, you know, take the right amount on, but the general theme is like always live in the gray space, right? Like doesn't have to be like, you don't have to bear the cross of Christ up the mountain, right? But like always be in the gray, always be carrying something that's a little heavy, right? And if you do that, you will continue to grow. And like for my 20, 25, you know, youngish folks out there that are listening, it's like, I can't stress the importance of this enough. I was you once, right? Like, and now I'm 46. These days pile up. These things pile up. And like your 40s is a really interesting time because it's kind of the decade where like you start reflection, right? Like it's like kind of the decade where like you start looking back and like I think it's, you know, and you start assessing like, did I make good decisions in life? Like, am I a good person? Right. And like, yeah, you think like, what would I have done differently? Now you don't want to ruminate on that, but like, I think you start to kind of look back on where you are. Because like your body starts working not as good, your hair starts getting a little bit gray. And I think it starts to be like, okay, like I'm like starting to go over the other side of the hill, right? Like I'm at the top of the hill, right? Like, how do I feel about that first half?
Yeah.
You know? So I guess the moral of the story there is like, for those of you that are living in the first half, you will be very grateful when you're in your mid to late 40s, right? Looking back for making the choice to not stay comfortable right now.
100%. Hang in there. And actually, I love the vibe of this podcast today. Maybe it shouldn't be what it do. It should be Stoic Jiu-Jitsu guys in their 40s celebrating their wins and being inspirational to the younger generation.
Yeah, today's a good one, dude. Today's a good
It's
one.
a good one, man. I love that feeling. It's funny because I'm kind of on that vibe too, man. I've been feeling really good. For me, it was because I took a little bit of a vacation. I realized I hadn't been on vacation in a long time. I went down to Mexico to see a colleague down there, brought Mrs. Estes. This is one thing you point out too, like when you have a family, and the larger your family gets, a lot of your like time off is doing family stuff, which is also great, but like really kind of just going down to Mexico and eating great meals. And I almost got eaten by a crocodile. And like,
Oh, wait, was this, when did you go on vacation?
it was a week ago.
I went to Cali a week ago.
Yeah. Nice,
What
man.
it do, son? What it do?
What it do? But, along the lines of like being interesting and keeping inspired, it was great, man. It was awesome. Do a little work down there, tour around, tour I went to Ekbalam. It was like the temple of the Black Panther from the Mayans,
Dude, amazing. What part of Mexico?
Merida, which is like it's the capital of the Yucatan. So it's like right in Mayan country.
Are you is that near like Tulum?
Yeah, totally. It's like it's probably an hour and a half away from Tulum. So
Okay,
like
yeah, because we went to Tulum like during COVID, and I really enjoyed like the cenotes. Did you touch on any of those at all?
Yeah, I went to a bunch of cenotes, got really integrated into kind of like Mayan lore. Their culture
cool.
is fascinating, man.
Yeah, dude, the cenotes were like right out of a movie, right? It's like
So sick.
dude, we did one cave dive through cenotes and caves, and there was a point where we were in one of these pools, and there had to be 30 people in this thing, and I'm not exaggerating. The stalactites, right, coming down the top, right? I don't know which one's stalactite, stalagmite. I remember that from third grade, right? But the rock coming down from the top, right? The delta between the water and the rock that was like. It's not just like a rock. It's like a sword, right?
Yeah.
It's like coming off the ceiling, right? Was like a foot, right? And no one had life vests on, right? So like, I'm like, look at my wife and I'm like, someone's going to die in here. You know what I mean? Like we're all like this, like barely breathing through, right? And I'm like, if I go under, no one's going to know, right? Like
Crazy.
we're in this cave. So, if you're going to go cave diving in the cenote, bring a life vest, everyone.
Well, dude, and the energy in the cenotes, I mean, like literally they've been doing like human sacrifices in there for thousands of years, and you could feel it. I mean, it is a mystical place in there. The little cenote spirits are called Aleutius, and they're like 12-foot like little spiritual tricksters. And so like all the cenotes close at 5 p.m. because the Aleutius don't like you in there.
Cool.
Yeah. It's fascinating. And then you can see like, oh, okay, this is how the Mayan Empire, was probably top of the food chain culturally 1,500, 2,000 years ago because they have fresh water everywhere.
Yeah, for sure.
All these like little freshwater caves, and then they're right on the coast so that you can get all the protein and fish and everything. They built these incredible cities. And one kind of cool takeaway I had too is, we went through this little Mayan village, and then we went to Ekbalam. And so you see these ruins, and you have the temple, and then you have the side houses, and then you have the states building, and then they had this like little court where they played like a game like basketball, kind of, I guess. Well, then when you drive back through the Mayan village, you see the chapel, and you see the little state building, you see the side buildings, and you see the basketball and soccer courts. It's like, dude, 1,500 years later, humans are exactly the same way. We build our cities exactly the same way.
Yeah, that's super cool, man. Well, it sounds like it was a great trip. The whole family went, right?
No, just Heidi and I.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome,
kids
dude.
stayed home. They didn't burn the place down. It was great.
Yeah, that seems very far away for us. We went to California, Oxnard, California. We were hung out on a beach house for 7 nights. The whole family was there, in-laws, my sister-in-law, mother-in-law, my baby boy, our au pair. It was great.
Beautiful, man. Awesome. We got a couple of minutes here left. Let's make sure we give a shout out. Kindling Solutions is absolutely crushing it. Give people a quick reminder of what you're working on right now.
Yeah. So we help companies scale with AI. We build custom operating systems, agentic operating systems, so that you can scale without adding more headcount. Every time I build one of these things, I'm like just more and more amazed at what you can do. Like I've never built anything professionally that makes me feel like I'm playing a video game. Like all I do every day is decide what problem I want to solve and how I want to solve it, and then I just solve it. There's like not this friction around like, well, we can't do this or we can't do that, right? It's like this crazy landscape of you can do anything you want, right? Like you can solve any problem in any way that you want. How do you want to solve it? And there's just so much strategy in that, right? Like how do you design it on the back end, and then how do you present it to the user on the front end, right? And it's and what business problem are you actually solving and why, right? What actually deserves to be built versus what's like sexy or trendy but doesn't actually, isn't actually meaningful or doesn't actually move the needle. Like all of these conversations are so strategic, and they're without the boring part, right? Like I don't have to then go off and do like database operations with like a developer for 3 weeks to get to the next part of the conversation, because AI does it all for me.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So cool. So yeah, definitely check out Kindling Solutions. We're going to come back more with some wins in a couple of weeks. Refresher on what I'm working on. I actually launched a new product this week. I'm super excited. It's called gethowdy.com. So gethowdi.com. And here we're helping independent creators, particularly podcasts right now, find sponsorship for their shows. So I have a host-read advertising platform called Wildcast as one of my companies. And we did probably $5 million in sponsorship revenue for podcasters, but our customer was really, the ubiquitous tech brands over there. So we're taking a similar thing. We've created the world's first autonomous agent that finds sponsorships and partnerships for independent creators. So if you're a podcaster in particular and you're looking to add revenue to your show, you can be onboarded right now. We're an alpha, but we are looking for new folks, and we've had a bunch of signals of success over there. So that's gethowdy.com. That's what I'm talking about this week. Katz, what it do is in the bucket once again. Thanks for joining me.
Yeah, dude, amazing. I'm going to need that tool for 100X. It's my builder community. I just got off the call with, shout out to my man, Dave. Looks like we're going to potentially partner up. Dave's a great content, OS all around, like AI content guy, from Philly, go Birds. And, he's going to be helping me stand up and run that community, and it's the kind of thing that could really benefit from what you just said. So looking forward to that combo.
Oh yeah, man, and go Broncos. In 3 years, AI fluency will be a baseline expectation for every college grad, not a differentiator. It'll be a requirement. The students getting ahead are the ones building that skill right now in high school and college before it becomes table stakes. AInativestudent.com is the program doing that. Weekly one-on-one coaching, live cohort sessions, on-demand courses, and the fastest growing AI chat for students, all tailored to your student's specific career path. Pre-med, they learn how AI is transforming diagnostics. Pre-law, they learn legal AI tools. Business, they learn to think like an AI power operator. One flat membership, less than a private tutor, cancel anytime, and if you're a founder listening to the show, you already know the cost of falling behind. Don't let your kid pay that price. Go to AInativestudent.com, apply in a couple minutes, and get your student into the cohort that changes their trajectory. AInativestudent.com, and send them to the chat. It's totally free. If Instagram changed their algorithm tomorrow, how many of your followers on Instagram could you actually reach? Now ask yourself, how many people are on your email list? The gap right there is the gap between a personal brand you're borrowing and one that you actually own. The best founders in the world, the ones getting the deals, the stages, and the inbound, they have newsletters. They show up in inboxes every week. They build real relationships at scale. Inbox Alchemy makes that happen for you. They write your weekly founder newsletter, build you a stunning newsletter website, and grow your list to 25,000 engaged subscribers in 6 months. All managed end-to-end, so it's generating pipeline while you focus on building your company. Algorithms are someone else's decision. Your email list is yours forever. Head to inboxalchemy.co and start building the audience no one can take away from you. Every week I sit down and ask myself one question. What do founders actually need to know about AI right now? Not the think pieces or the stuff that sounds impressive, the real useful put it to work today stuff. Then I write it up, send it to you in your inbox free. That newsletter is called AI for Founders, and I built it because I was tired of wading through hit pieces and people that are afraid of the future. Each issue I break down the tools worth your time, the strategies that are working, and the ways you can use AI to grow your company without burning out or getting left behind. Thousands of founders read it every week, and I'd love for you to be one of them. Subscribe for free at aiforfounders.co. 3 seconds to sign up, and I promise it's worth it. I want to tell you about someone I think you should hire. Her name is Casey Taylor, and Casey is an AI partnership agent. And Casey's entire job is securing brand sponsorships for your podcast. Not handing you a spreadsheet, actually reaching out, making the pitch, and closing the deal for your show on your behalf. Chasing sponsorships for podcasters is a headache. They'd rather be recording episodes. Casey manages that completely. You brief Casey on your show, Casey goes to work, and you get back to doing the thing you're actually good at. Whether you've got 5,000 listeners or 50,000, she knows how to find the right brands for your audience and get them on board. You need Casey. Every podcaster does. Go to gethowdy.com, that's GETHOWDI.com, and meet Casey Taylor. Your new partnership agent is ready when you are.